everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of Trapped in My Mind. Today with me, a very good friend, JJ, or do you want to be called Jordan?
It doesn't matter. You can call me JJ. I feel like everyone who's going to watch this or listen to it is going to know me as JJ. So
JJ, okay. Quick wits. He's really quick on the soccer field. Just want to remind you just to speak up because it is
okay.
I'm always way louder than my guests.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Anyway, dude, I'm excited you came out.
Yeah.
You reached out, and I'm very excited to see you because it's been
a minute.
Been a minute because
Yeah,
we usually see each other at soccer.
Yeah, like pre-COVID, I want to say. Or no, I think we when we were at Novi, I think we had a team set up and we were doing it.
Yeah,
so.
And then it got canceled.
Yeah, it's been about 6 months. I want to say what it was like back in June or July.
Oh my gosh, was it?
Yeah,
I feel like okay. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a minute. Yeah,
nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm excited about what we're going to talk about because as I explain every episode, I send people some topics and they send back what they want to talk about. And you identified one that is honestly one of the most important things to me, which is using music as a form of therapy.
Mm-hmm.
In my list, I have it classified as musical therapy, but I know that there actually is a such thing as musical therapy.
Right. Yeah.
We're going to be more so discussing using music as therapy, correct?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, geez, to start off, when I just thought of like music and therapy, I just thought it was just like, okay, you go in to a certain room, like classical music or something like that, something like calming. But it really can be like more than that. It's not just like classical stuff. I know because I talked to one of my buddies from Schoolcraft. I was in a class with him, and he actually had a therapist who used like music, like to help him like calm, like during certain things, whether it be like anxiety or something like that, school, work. It can literally be anything. And she had used it as a form of therapy, and could have been. She had like instruments for him. It was crazy because he was like, I've never played an instrument before ever in my life. He was like, I'm not a band geek or anything like that, but she had used like a violin, and she's like, oh, you do all this, and it's such a like beautiful sounding instrument. It really is. So like he had learned the violin for like 2 years, like through musical therapy. And there was one day where he actually brought it into class and he was doing it. So it was really cool. And he was like, yeah, no, it's a real thing. And it's helped me through school. It's helped me through my life. And a lot of crazy stuff was happening. So he had shared it in front of all of us. And it was just like, it was eye-opening. It was a lot to like give out. But he's very cool about it. He's very comfortable about it. And he's like, yeah, no, it's a serious thing. So, but yeah, no, I think music therapy is like actually something that people like do without even like noticing.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would agree. And it's interesting that you brought up like using a violin or any instrument because when I briefly looked into musical therapy, most of it is sounds. And I know like just naturally different sounds can boost your mood or, different types of genres can, bring you down, get you amped, boost your spirits.
Yeah, of course.
And so a lot of people, it's sound. And I assumed one of the reasons you wanted to talk about this topic is because every time we go play soccer or whatever, you're playing like some like EDM electronic type of music,
Always.
and you're always like feeling vibes.
Always, man.
And I wanted to discuss that because it's different. I find therapy in the words of the music I listen to, and it seems like you kind of find yours in the sounds.
Yeah, a lot. Like he was talking about it when he had brought it up in the class. Guy, he was like, it's different. It's not just sounds. It could be beats. It could be lyrics. It could be the way like a certain vibe comes through with the song. He was just talking about how beautiful like you can mix these lyrics and like beats together into one thing, and it just comes out to be the song. But yeah, with me, I'm definitely more of like a vibey guy. I definitely enjoy the beats and more so like the background part of like a song rather than the lyrics. Lyrics can be beautiful and they can be very inspirational or very like soothing to anyone. But I just EDM is like just like a completely different thing for me. So it's like hearing like a beat, certain 808, some type of bass, some type of drum, anything. It can be soothing. It can be like super hard and like super like exhilarating. Get super happy. It can put you in a certain mood that just calms you. And I just love how there's different types of music like for other people. Like it's not just like classical. It's not just EDM. it's pop, it's like rock. People like get like calmed from like heavy metal rock music, and it's like, how do you get calmed through this? And it's like, this is something that I've just listened to like my whole life. Like you'll talk to somebody, it's like, oh no, I listen to like, I don't know, Kiss like when I'm sad or something like that. It's like, well, you kind of get a gist of it, because it's like Kiss is like a very uplifting but very like strong, like powerful, like music based like band. And it's like different. And it's like, I would think you just listen to classical music to get like, away from everything and calm yourself and soothe all that. And I think people like get confused with the whole therapy part. It's not like just like soothing music. Like other people have different ways of calming themselves down, whether it be like heavy metal music or some type of EDM stuff. And it doesn't have to be the lyrics, doesn't have to be the beat. It could just be like the people making the song and all that. Definitely just musical therapy. When I saw you send it to me, I was like, yeah, no, this is something that like I feel like I do every day, but
maybe unknowingly.
Like I was saying, like people do it. People listen to music every day, and they don't know that they're like going through it. Like they don't know that like they're literally giving themselves like therapy. Like, and I know it's like crazy to like think about. It's like, no, just listening to music. It's like, no, like it literally like any song can like soothe you, calm you down, whether it hype you up, get you excited, anything. Before a workout, before going into work, before driving away from work, going to school, leaving school, like it's just a certain vibe that songs give off that can really change your mood and help you get better. Really, like how therapy is supposed to do. It's supposed to help you feel better.
Yeah, and I think it's different for everybody. Like you already kind of said, some hard rock might calm somebody down, as where for you or me, it might amp us up.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of that is we associate different types of music with what we were feeling the first time we got into that music. Like if I listened to an album for the first time and I was going through something, that's always going to be connected. So for that person, they might have grew up listening to hard rock because their dad would always play it for them in the car, and so it's like their happy place.
Yeah.
I know for me, it's like, yeah, let's fucking get it. Like I'm going crazy when I hear that. But it is interesting though. Some people have beats, some people have lyrics, some people just put it on in the background, they don't notice it, and that's why I kind of wanted to talk about it, because I think most people do like music. I think you're crazy if you don't like music. Maybe that's a hot take, but but I feel like for me, it's interesting because I kind of use music, like you said, maybe not so much as therapy, but maybe in a sense it is more of like therapy, because I use music and I listen to the lyrics very specifically to kind of guide my emotions and explore my different types of feelings. And it's really kind of crazy. Every time I tell somebody I really like Kid Cudi, they're like, dude, what? Like, what are you, a pothead? Because he's all about smoking,
right? Yeah.
And so I wrote down some lyrics, dude, and it's not gonna be as powerful without like the music and how he's singing it. But just so I can try to really make my point here, I'm like, and this is with what anybody says to you, anything you're listening to, just because you don't relate to the situation that somebody's in, the way that they feel about it is something that I think is relatable, and that's what it is for me in music. Is like, for example, if you listen to the song "Ghost" by Kid Cudi, one of the verses is, "The people I met and the places I've been, all what make me the man I so proudly am. But I want to know one thing: when did I become a ghost?" And like that kind of hit for me, because it's like I love all the people I'm in relationships with. I'm appreciative for where I'm at, but why do I feel like lonely still? Why do I still feel lonely? And like hearing somebody say that, it helps you explore those emotions. And then you realize, somebody else feels this way. So it is kind of a sense of therapy for me.
Yeah.
And so I really try to hone in on music and use it to guide my emotions. As where some people, like you said, maybe you're just listening to the music and it's on the background and it just makes you feel good. So I guess, what do you think you gain from listening to music? Different types or EDM?
Jeez, man. It's like it's like a different way of describing like I don't know, like a drug maybe. Like people may get like a high off of that. People associate EDM music with like drugs and like drinks and like all that, and raves and parties and stuff, and it's really not like that. Obviously, like it sort of is when you go to a festival or anything like that, but that's the thing, going to a festival too, or any type of like concert, it's like it's so different. It opens your eyes up to like different things, and it makes you feel good. Like honestly, like just going out, just going to Miami, going to LA, going to Chicago, going to like Columbus, going to New York, like all these other like venues and like festivals where they're in cities where you never thought you'd be able to go to. That's like therapy, like in itself. I almost feel like, because it's just like, wow, this is awesome. I've never felt this before.
Yeah,
I've never been in this area before. There's people that are like into the same thing as me. Like they're all feeling the same thing I'm feeling. Like this is crazy. So I mean, man, like lyrics and stuff. It was funny because you had just mentioned Kid Cudi. I just saw like a TED Talk from Kid Cudi.
Oh, actually, dude, I love it.
Where he went back to his old school,
Shaker Heights.
And yeah, no, he was talking about things like that, like just like straight up like suicide, depression, all this. It's all stuff that is looked at as something that, I mean, I'm sure like every other kid has probably experienced in high school.
Yeah, and maybe they haven't even recognized it, but gone through something similar or felt similar, but haven't come like forced himself to feel those feelings head on.
Yeah, but he because I like him. I don't listen a lot to Kid Cudi, and I know you love Kid Cudi.
Dude, I'm like, don't worry.
You try to your music is like your music is all. I feel like your music is kind of similar to his, and that's some of the stuff that I've heard from like your guys.
He's talking Beyond Room,
but they have another group that they're in, but a lot of their music sounds kind of like based off of like Cudi, just a little bit like feel vibe. It's not just beats and hard beats or anything like that. There's guitars, there's all types of different melodies, pianos and all that. So I mean, his lyrics are very powerful too. Like just 4 lines make you think, and it's like, holy shit, like this is completely different. Like he says all this happy stuff in the first beginning line, and then the second line it's like, why do I still feel like a ghost? Like,
well, that's what I mean is it helps me explore my emotions, because I think a lot of people use music to make them feel good, and I definitely do that. And like you said, going to a live concert, that always feels good. But lots of times I'll put on his music when I'm sad, just because I want to be like, okay, help me understand why I'm sad. It's interesting. Well, first off, for that TED Talk, the name of the TED Talk is Hi, I'm Scott.
Yeah.
And I've watched that probably 10 times over. And if you notice, the top comment underneath it is, I don't think this guy understands how much or how badly he saved my life, or how much he had to do with saving my life. And it had over 3,000 likes. So you have an artist that's saving people's lives, and that's something I can relate to, dude. My girlfriend, pretty recently, I think over Thanksgiving break, asked me why is he so special? Like, are you just fanboying because you like his music, or is it something more? And I'm like, dude, it's something more. On the way home from my parents to my apartment, it's about a 40-minute drive, I would tell her what these songs meant to me, tell her to listen to the lyrics, and then tell me what she thought. And literally by the 3rd song, she was crying. She was crying because I explained it to her. And if you don't mind, I have some more lyrics written down.
Go ahead. No,
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to dominate the conversation.
Like his like lyrics are just, in the way he like just brings it out into a song. It's like it kind of disguises it, because like people don't realize it. Yes. It's like Cudi goes out and he'll put out a song, and everyone's, oh, a song's so good, like the beat's good in the back, everything is good, and then like 3 months later, someone brings it up into like a YouTube video or like a music video. It's like, this dude's literally talking about something that you guys didn't even know he was talking about.
Because people don't listen to the lyrics.
They don't listen to the lyrics. Like his stuff, Man on the Moon. Like just thinking about like some songs that I know day and night. Like you think about it, like
Pursuit of Happiness.
That's a song. That song. Those songs are like, that's crazy.
It's not
like,
surface level shit.
Yeah, it's not. And then like Make Her Say, it's like, okay, well, like you listen to Make Her Say, it's like, this guy's a happy guy, and then like you go through the rest of the album, it's like, holy crap, dude. He's
got demons. He's battling, and that's the thing is, he's able to talk about sad music and a positive vibe, and so it's nice for me because some of the songs people are like, oh my god, like, what? It sounds like a suicide note, and some of his songs are.
It really does, yeah.
But the things I like about it is that for every sad song he has like a hopeful song. And just to put you in a mind frame, and again, I wish I could play music without getting flagged and getting my video taken down, but another one, All Along, that's the name of the song. For anybody who's ever been in a a tough breakup after a long relationship, driving to All Along, there's no way you won't cry, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just read one more excerpt is, when the weeks change, the rumors change too. I'm addicted to highs, would you like to know why? When the months change, so do my love point of views. I don't want what I need hates me. I know all along, I know I'm meant to be alone. The way he's singing it and the thing with the hums too, it just, holy shit, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It just breaks you down. But then the very next song, he has something like Heart of a Lion, where he's basically saying, my mom told me nobody could break me. Nobody can stop me. At the end of the day, I'm carrying myself as a heart of a lion. I'm just going to go for it. So, like, he has songs where he's taking you down, like, a very depressive state, and you're exploring your emotions and how sad you feel in your depression. And then he has songs where it's like, but look it, I'm older than you. I made it out. You can too. I was really fucking dark. And even though I was never famous or I never battled drugs, the way he felt in those situations, I have related to. Mm-hmm. So it's like I'm growing with him. And that shit is so fucking emotional to me, dude. Like, even talking about it, I get worked up. And if the music was playing, I guarantee you I'd start breaking down right now because it's so meaningful to me. So I like that you chose to talk about this because I don't know exactly how important music is to you. I just know you're always playing.
No, dude. Like, with you, music is important to me. And, just to base that off of Kid Cudi, like, just album and discography in general, like, I want to bring up Lauryn Hill. I don't know if you know who Lauryn Hill is, but like, my whole life was like based off of Lauryn Hill. Like, I woke up and I was listening to Lauryn Hill. I went to bed, I was listening to Lauryn Hill, like, as a kid. And my mom was so toned in on like her perspective of her life because she's like, her life is so similar to mine because Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That's one of her albums, and artists used to do it back in the day. I don't know if they still do it like now, but their album in the beginning, it was like strong, powerful, very hopeful. Towards the middle, it's like, okay, there's stuff happening. There's some really bad stuff happening, but we're really trying to make it through it. And then towards the end, it's like it's gone. I've gotten past it. I've learned, I've lost, I've lived, and I'm on track to get better. So her first, I can't even remember. I want to look up her album because her first song on her album is something. It's like, I want to say it might be. It's her intro, and it's like Lost One, X Factor, To Zion. It's got Carlos Santana in it. And Doo-Wop, and they're all different songs. But towards the beginning, it's like these are all fun, powerful, exciting things that happen. But then, like, some bad stuff or something changes. Yes. Like, something life-changing happens, and you have to change the whole way that you think. And my mom played To Zion to me when I was a kid. And I don't want to play it because I don't want to get you screwed over. But,
don't get me flagged.
But when I was a kid, she used to sing To Zion to me, like, before bed.
Okay.
And it's a song about Lauren having her first kid, right? And this is with, I think, Damien, one of the Marley brothers. Mm-hmm. But she was a part of the Fugees, which was a Jamaican, like, Caribbean, like, based group. But it was, like, it had, like, Wyclef Jean in it, some other dude, something like that. But her song it's so powerful in the beginning. So powerful. And she hits all these high notes, and she's just singing, like, with her heart. And then, like, towards the end, like, towards the beginning, like, towards the middle of it, you, like, start to get a glimpse, like, holy shit, like, she had a kid, this is happening, she doesn't know what to do, she's freaking out, it's emotional. And then towards the end, she's like, guys, it's fine, I have it, I'm good, I'm set, don't worry about me, because everyone at the beginning of her album was like, you can't do it, Lauren. Like, there's no way that you can have a kid and still travel the world and do all this music and stuff. But she's like, I did it.
Yeah,
it's
a story arc.
Through. Yeah,
and that's what good artists have.
I don't know if that's a thing that, like, they do anymore.
Good artists do. Like, look at Kendrick Lamar. Look at J. Cole. Look at Kid Cudi. His most recent album, and I hate to bring it back to him.
No,
that's the first 5 songs, dude, are just boom, 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 hard 808s, dude. This is crazy shit. And then the middle of the album is exploring emotions, and then the end of the album is hopeful again. Yeah, and like you said, it's a story arc. And that's what songs are. They're stories, or that's what albums are stories. And good artists that can put them together like that, they get the heavy-hitting, the fun ones out first to capture attention, just like a story. and then they explore like what the main reason for the story, and then explain how they overcame their battle or the story arc. And I think music is so cool. It's just another way of storytelling. And I think the combination of sound, lyrics, different types of ways to convey your message, this is so powerful, like you said. So, yeah, I have to listen to more to Lauryn Hill. I've heard songs mostly that she's featured on, but
it's not just Lauryn Hill. There's different artists, like literally like mainstream artists that are like so honed in about making sure that they portray a message, but like being able to hide it into an album where people just think, "Oh my god, the song is so good," but then it's like, "Holy crap!" You go back and listen to the lyrics, like I never would have guessed. Like if an artist can do that. That's why they're called artists. Like they're not just called singers. They're not called rappers. They're artists because they can literally portray a message. They can make it seem like they're putting people into their shoes. Like this was me as a kid. This is what I went through. This is how I overcame it. And now look at me now. Like just being able to portray a message into a song for other people and then disguise it. Like that's art. That's art. And
I love your take, JJ.
I don't think people just realize that is like what music is. They just see music as just like hard, heavy, soothing, like calming, whatever it be. Like,
and there's a time and a place for like that just trap music where it's like it's nonsense but it sounds good.
Yep.
Like I'm not saying all of DaBaby's work is nonsense. I fucking love DaBaby.
Yeah.
But like a lot of his shit's not like I'm not gonna like go home and try to explore my emotions to DaBaby. It's more like, oh, we're going to a party.
Baby wants you to hype up that when you're at a party.
Exactly.
Want you to play
so
songs at parties.
Different artists have different things, but I will say I agree with you tenfold. Good artists have story arcs, and the way they put together their albums to make sense it's incredible to me. It's something that it takes a lot of talent and a lot of effort and a lot of time, and honestly a lot of intelligence. Yeah. So you know what? Been friends with you for a while now. Knew you like music. Never knew that you had such a strong take on it. Yeah. So that makes me really happy.
No, I always base my music off that. Whether I be listening to it, I'm like, this is something that I could listen to like forever. And like and that album from Lauryn Hill has been out for like 20, 30 years. Like I just have that in the back of my mind. I know every song. I know like every song by heart because my mom sang it.
Yeah.
It rang through our house. It was like everywhere, and I'm just like, this is something I know. And then it's like the first album liked on my Spotify. Like it's just like.
And so you probably also like it because you associate with your mom singing to you at a young age.
Yeah, of course.
So even like subconsciously, you're just like, oh, I like this. Oh, why do I like it?
Yeah.
Because the memories that are associated with it are so positive.
Yeah, family too. Like it's just like, dude, my mom means the world to me. So I mean, just being able to connect with my mom still, and then playing music, and she's like, you don't even know what song it is. I'm like, yeah, you better think twice. I literally play this song in my car like every day. Like, come on, mom. Like,
don't test me.
But yeah.
Yeah, dude. So I mean, I think music therapy is a good way. If you don't already use it, try to dive into music and explore your emotions. It works for me. It works fucking well, very well for me. But another thing we can kind of mention is what are some of the things that kind of push us to music for therapy. I know you want to kind of touch on pressure and expectations. What specifically about that did you want to kind of dive into?
Yeah, so I saw that. It was an interesting topic that I thought we could definitely talk about. The pressure expectations has always been a thing for me.
Internally, externally, what do you think? Or both?
Both, a little bit of both. Definitely with being in the sports and being a soccer player, playing basketball, trying out all these different sports, things not working out. Pressure and expectation, like pressure makes diamonds. I hear that quote all the time. Pressure makes diamonds, and it's like you think about it, and it's like, dang, if I went into a soccer game and I was like, we're gonna beat this team, easy. Like, why? There's no pressure in it. There's confidence. Just confidence. It's okay to have confidence, but my coach, I'll never forget, because he told me that pressure makes diamonds. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what exactly does that mean? Pressure doesn't literally make a diamond. And he's like, it's all what you portray it to be. It's all in your head. It's all how you want it to be. Okay, he was like, you go into a game, and if you said you're not nervous, there's no way that you'd be telling the truth to me. Like, going into any type of thing, whether it be school, tests, work, anything can happen, and it just makes you like, it makes you nervous. It makes you worry. And my coach is like, if you don't worry that something could happen, if you don't worry that you won't make a mistake this time, if you won't worry that your team will get scored on, if you won't worry that you'll get hurt, how are you going to overcome that worry? How are you going to overcome that nervousness? Like, unless if you like understand the quote, like in general, like there's nervousness and then there's like confidence. And if you can blend that together, it just makes it all better for you. And it makes you really get a glimpse of like, okay, like I'm pressured. Like this is like crazy. This feels weird. I don't want to be pressured. But then also it's like, I want this to happen because I want to be ready for when things go wrong. I want to be ready when something goes right, and I take my opportunity and I do it. And I'm just going to take like practice in general. I hate just training and not training with somebody else. So like it could be like a 6-person drill, right? And we're going through and we're doing run throughs on like maybe like crossing or something like that. So you play in a midfielder, play it to your wide back, you cross it in, 3 people in the box, they go in and head it. There's no, you expect us to score every time, but how are we going to do that without pressure? I feel like without pressure, you can't really expect anything other than success. Like without any type of pressure, you won't have any type of stress, any type of anxiety, anything on you to where you say to yourself, okay, I won't be able to do this. If there's no pressure for you, it's going to be success every time. But I don't work like that. Like my team doesn't work like that. So
I'm sorry. Are you saying if you don't have pressure, you'll do good because you're not worried about it and things like that?
Yeah, obviously, like that's just how it is. Like I'm just taking sports in general because that's like all I know. Like if you don't have any type of pressure, anything, there's going to be success. But then there are times where you do make mistakes. So then you go back and you say to yourself, okay, how can I change it to where I bring in the pressure, not all in, but to a point where I say, hey, like, I got you right here, but I'm going to take you on because I have confidence here. Like, there's a big difference between pressure and confidence, obviously, but I think it's important to have a little bit of both, like half and half, maybe. But I always tell my coach, I'm like, we can't do these drills with just 6 people and no one defending us. Like, pressure, defense, like, puts anyone under pressure.
Yeah.
Anyone on top of anyone, man-to-man marking or any type of, like, for any sport, like, anyone in front of you who wants something that you have, that's pressure. And that's, like, that's stressful. Like, that makes me anxious. It makes me nervous. But, like, pressure makes diamonds. In a sense, like, you feed off the pressure, but you're supposed to do what you know you're supposed to do, which is why you go through and practice. Like,
well, I hear that you're trying to harvest pressure and confidence into one. And I definitely think, honestly, in a sports context, I think pressure is good. I will say the more I've gone away from sports and the more I've gone into jobs and living on my own and making financial decisions, that's where the pressure, for me anyway, is very difficult.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So do you think there's a distinction between pressure in sports and then pressure in anything else other than sports? Because if you lose a game, you know, especially like at these levels, like we're not playing in the NFL or the, you know, MLS. So if we lose a game, it's like, we lost a game. But like if I make the wrong choice at work, I could get fired or not get that promotion. Or if I make the wrong choice buying a home, I could be in and up to my head in debt. So it's like the consequences are a lot, you know, harder to come back from.
Yeah. I think it all leads to like professionalism, right? Like being in a workforce, being in a workplace, you want to do the best that you can, not only for yourself, but like other people around you, right? Like you want to do the best for your job, whether you work at a company, an insurance company, or you work at some like plant or whatever you do. Yeah. You want to do the best work that you can. Obviously not everything is going to be perfect. not everything is going to be the way that you want it to be. You'll run into some complications, pressure. You'll run into some things that'll make you nervous. You'll run into some things that will make you uneasy. So, I mean, that's how work is, right? They don't tell you these things, but they have trainings for you. They have these things ready for you because they want you to be prepared for certain things that come up. So like all this pressure coming in, and I remember because when I was, oh man, I had worked at Total Sports Farmington.
Okay.
And the thing was, they never taught us like CPR, right? We work in a place where anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. We get robbed, someone could steal something could like blow up, someone could pass out, go into cardiac, like anything could happen, right? And out of all the things that happened, I remember it, and it was like I didn't want to tell myself that it had happened, and I think that's why it came out how it was supposed to be. And it was this guy, and he has a couple buddies. They're from Bosnia. I don't know, see the age thing, but I just say they're from Bosnia. But his son, I played soccer with, and he knew me, and he would come in every night, and you have to pay a fee, and he was always the first one paying. Never was like, here, I'm going to do it because I'm going to forget.
Okay.
I'm like, don't forget because like I need you to do it, or else I get fired. He's like, I got you, don't worry. And he'd come up, pay right away. Coolest guy ever. Awesome, just family man, loved his friends, would do anything for anyone. Like he was like talking to me. He's like, is there anything else that you need before I leave? Because he was the last one to leave before I closed.
Okay.
He's like, dude, I'm good, man. Just make sure that you guys clean so I can just get out of here and close. He's like, for sure. And he was always the first one commanding his boys, like, get everything clean, get everything the fuck out of here so he can get out. Like swearing everything. But his buddy, his cousin actually, it was weird. His cousin had a heart attack at our facility, and I remember I was like, because the guy came up, and it was one of his other friends. And he's like, call 911, and I'm like, what happened? And he was like, he passed out. I don't know. He's not saying anything. He's not breathing. Call the cops. Guy sitting there, like literally like pacing, right? And I'm calling the cops. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, okay, I need them to get here quick. And it was like Beaumont. I think Beaumont's in like West Bloomfield or like Farmington Hills or something like that. So they're like fairly close. But I was like, dude, just like calm down. It's okay. They're like literally a couple minutes away. I got you. No worries. Mm-hmm. Like, please, like don't stress yourself out. He's like, how can I not stress myself out when my buddy is literally sitting on the ground, like basically dying? And I was like, you just need to give them time. Like they're coming. I promise you, I would not let him just die here. Like at our facility, I can't. So, like come the time where they come through, I had to open a couple doors for them to get through. And this guy is still sitting there. And then at one point, I went back up, and he's like crying, right? Like he's like crying. His friend is crying. Next to our desk, there's like a little overhang on our desk, and he's crying under there. And I said, dude, like, they're here. Like, they're fine. Like, they're good. And it's like a 50-year-old guy. Like, 40, 50-year-old guy. And I was like, he was like, they're here? And he was like, they're here? And I'm like, yeah, man, like, come. Like I got you. They're here. He's all good. He's on the stretcher. He's fine. And that night, we had to close everything up because obviously it had happened and we had to just close everything up. Didn't tell him to pay or anything. Literally happened like 10 minutes into them playing. And it was funny because he tried to give me like money. Like
for the rental? Yes.
And I was like, dude, like, don't, you're fine. It was literally 10 minutes. Don't worry about it. We're cool. He's like, this was like a couple weeks after. And, they had came in again, and the guy who had the heart attack came up to me, and I'll never forget because it almost made me cry. Like I was just like, dude, like I'm just doing my job, man. Like I'm supposed to do it. He's like, do they even train you to have that set up to where you have? I had to pull out an AED, I had to prime it, I had to do all types of stuff, And he's like, do they even tell you to like do this stuff? And he's like, no, they don't. I just knew it from all my other jobs that I had. Because I worked at a Y too. So like, you know, lifeguards and stuff like that, counselors, wellness, or whether it be like trainers or anything like that, personal trainers, you need to have that like known just in case anything happens. And the guy was like, dude, I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart for like being prepared in that situation. I know it's a lot of pressure on you. I'm really sorry that I put you in that situation. I'm like, dude, don't be sorry. Like, I'm just doing my job. I have to do it. I'm not, and it's not like I'm gonna sit there. I'm not gonna let this guy die. Like, I'm not gonna let this guy die. Sit here and be in pain. And then he came up and he tried to give me money. I'm like, dude, like, don't. He's like, no, this is for the rental. And I was like, man, like, you guys were really here for like 10 minutes. Bad thing happened. And I just wanted everyone to make sure they were safe. And he's like, no, we'll donate it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I have to go through and tell my boss about it, right? So it was funny because my boss didn't find out till like 3 days after, right? Because it was so like nonchalant. Like I was just like, okay, well, like I know exactly what to do, right? Like even though I was under pressure, I knew exactly what to do. And like he was like, you're the only one there. There's no one else there. Where was everyone else at? And it's funny because he got mad at me because I left the desk, right? I left the desk to go call the cops, make sure the guy was okay, prime AEDs, and then like go back, right? He's like, why'd you leave the desk? I'm like, because the guy was like, he's there. Yeah. Like, I'm not just going to leave a guy there. And he's like, but there's no one at the desk. The door's open. I'm like, are you really bringing this up? Yeah. And it was to a point where he had to like write me. He had to like write me up.
Really? Because you were prioritizing.
Because I was prioritizing someone's health, but I had also I left the doors open for the people to come in, for like a short amount of time too, and he was like, "Yeah, I can't just have you leaving doors open. I can't have you leave the post. Anyone can come in and do anything." And he's like, "I'm like, why would anyone come in and do anything if the fire department was like the cops were there, like." Everyone was there, ready to take him to the hospital, and you're like writing me up because I like did something that I'm supposed to do. And he's like, "You're not trained to do that." I'm like, "Yeah, of course I'm not. Like, I'm supposed to know this. Like, why are you not telling me this? Like, I'm supposed to know that this is something that happened." And he's like, "Yeah, no, I just have to write you up." And he's like, "I just want you to know that you did what you were supposed to do. I'm glad that you did it, but I have to." He had to. Like, he didn't want to do it, but he had to.
You're a better man than me. I'd have been fucking pissed.
No, yeah. I sat there and I was like, I mean, he's right, but then also...
No, I think in that situation he's wrong because helping out somebody who's potentially, has their health at risk is takes precedent over leaving the door open so somebody could wander in. Sorry.
And that's the thing because he brought me in after, actually, like a couple weeks after that had happened. And he was like, "Hey, I just want to apologize," right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, "For what?" And he's like, "For writing you up." And I was like,
"Can't take it back."
I was like, "You can't take it back." And he's like, "I had to do it because that's what we're supposed to do. But I just want you to know that is like the most bravest thing I've ever heard." And the cameras were on, so he was like watching because like we have a camera system. So he went back and watched all the footage. And he's like, "I just want you to know that you did everything that you were supposed to do. And I am really sorry that I had to, but I had to write you up." And he was sincerely like apologizing.
Yeah, but he could have just looked the other way on this occasion.
That's what, but like they like even at that, the cameras are on all the time, right? And I was off the post for
but who looks at that other than
about an hour? Yeah, but like anyone could have looked at that. And I was just like, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I was here doing my thing, doing what I was supposed to do in a very stressful situation. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't expected to do it. And I was just really confused. I was just like, why would anyone not do that in a situation? I mean, I'm just basing that off of like work because like, anything could happen and they don't tell you to do something, but like in your back of your mind, you're like, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I know I'm supposed to do. My mom, my dad, my family would be like, why didn't you help that guy if I was told not to do it? So I can't bring that upon myself to say I was in a very stressful situation. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of stuff that I was expected to do, or expected to not do, but I didn't. But I did what I thought was right. Right.
Yeah, and it sounds like you handled it, in the way
how anyone would have done it.
But you said something that this is really what I want to know is you said in that situation, what would your parents say if you didn't do it the correct way? Mm-hmm. And so that is a reason for stress and pressures. It's coming from your parents. Like you didn't want them to be upset with how you handled the situation. Mm-hmm. So I like the story because every time I ask you a question, you bring it back to something positive. You always take a silver lining from a story, which I admire about you. But at the end, you gave me a little bit of information I was looking for of where do you get your pressure from? Mm-hmm. And it sounds like it's a little bit from your parents.
Oh, yeah, no, like, I say it all the time. Like, I wasn't raised like that. That's always my saying. Yep. I wasn't raised like that. Like, anything could happen.
Like, your parents did a good job. It's
a
good fellow right here.
Any type of situation could happen. I could just be like, my parents didn't raise me like that. Like, mm-hmm. I'm not gonna go out and have someone just sit there and just like literally like die right in front of me. I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm not gonna let anyone get robbed. I'm not gonna let anyone get robbed and then not get their stuff back or like get like the justice that they deserve. That's not how I was raised. I'm gonna help people that like need it. Yeah. And like need it the most. And especially if it's family or friends. Like that's like anything. But like it was a guy that I trusted, it was a guy that I knew, he was a good guy. His friend was in a situation where it's like life or death. Mm-hmm. And it's like, do you have the what good in your heart? And it's crazy because and I brought it up in Christian ethics, which is one of our classes that we had at our school. So I go to a Christian school, and technically it's like philosophy, mm-hmm. but it was a nursing class. I'm not a nursing student. Mm-hmm. I literally had to take the class because it was above a certain level where I had to get it in order mm-hmm. to graduate. And I brought it up in class, and I told my professor, I'm like, I did this because I was supposed to, but I wasn't expected to do it. And he's like, no, that was literally the right thing to do. And he brought up different perspectives, utilitarian. So like a utilitarian will go through and say to themselves, how can I make this a certain outcome? Like, how can I get the greatest bit of outcome, mm-hmm. right? The greatest amount of happiness with the least amount of, failure or mm-hmm. like, I want the best possible outcome. Yeah. Basically, that's what someone will do. But then other people have said that you're supposed to focus solely on yourself and not anyone else. And I was just like, I'm not that type of person. I wasn't raised that way. I'm not supposed to sit here and put myself in a situation where I can only think about myself. I can't let someone suffer like right in front of me. I'm not going to let that happen. Mm-hmm. And it was a really stressful and like, it was like weird because I almost didn't want to believe it, but I was like, I need to make sure that this guy's okay. Yeah. So I did what I thought was the right thing. And it was, again, stressful situation, but like anyone in that situation would have done it. Probably, maybe in a different way from my way, but I don't know, just calling the cops, priming everything, making sure everything was okay, leaving the doors open like I was supposed to do for the like department that told me to do it. I'm supposed to do it.
I think you handled it well. And I think taking care of others is definitely something I would say my parents raised me to do as well, is, make sure people around you are happy and mm-hmm. and try to help them if they need help, right? But one thing that, as I've kind of gone into adulthood, and actually the guest from episode 4, Megan, she said, when I asked her what's a good tip to achieving mental health, what she said actually kind of made me think. She said you can't pour from an empty glass, so you have to fill your own glass before you can help others.
Yep.
And it's like
that's literally one of the things that my professor brought up in our class.
Yeah. So I guess my question is, much like myself, it sounds like you try to help others, and last times, I don't know if this is true for you, but for me, I neglect my own self, and so I'm trying to become a lot better about focusing on what makes me happy, and still help others, but really prioritize myself. And it's a different way of thinking because it sounds selfish to me. What happens if you're in a situation where you're so busy helping other people that now you're in a situation where something you're in a bad situation personally, and how will that look to the people around you? So that's where I'm saying pressure and expectations is difficult for me because if I put myself in a position where it's like, oh, I feel like a failure. Well, I feel pressure from parents and family and friends because they expect more of me, and I expect more of myself. But it's hard to focus on other people and on yourself all at once.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I love about you is that you're always positive. Everything that you if I ask a question or you tell a story, there's always a silver lining to it. There's always a negative connotation to it, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really great that you focus on other people and you're very helpful. And I know that to be true because I know you pretty well. But is there ever a time where you find yourself in a not so desirable situation? You're like, oh fuck, well, if only I would have spent the time myself there instead of going the extra mile. Or do you pretty much always feel good?
Of course. There's never a time where I am always happy. I feel like I'd go crazy if I was always happy and positive.
Like if someone takes you down in soccer.
Yeah, I give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, dude, listen, I don't want to turn on you. I don't want to talk any type of shit to you. It is what it is. If you trip me, it's foul. I'm not gonna complain. If he does it again, I'm like, okay, last time, please, stop. I'm a guy of many. I give second chances. I think that's something that is needed for everyone because
I agree.
You need to learn from mistakes because again, people expect you to have everything perfect and set up and not learn from a bad mistake and just completely just cancel you out.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of workplaces will go through and say you make this mistake, you're out. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. I definitely feel
or in friendships. If you do the wrong thing, all right, well, we're not friends.
You gotta second chances are important. And then I'm sorry, I don't give out third chances unless if you're super cool. But second chances, I feel that is so important for anyone. And going back on pressure and expectations, I mean, just in general, just for me, my mom gave me so many chances in my life, just certain mistakes that I made. And she told me, don't do this, don't do that. You need to make sure that you focus on what makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
And going back on what you said, focusing on other people, being selfish, being other types of things, I find myself being a lot more selfless because that's what makes me happy. I think seeing other people happy makes me happy. I think that's and not a lot of people. I feel like everyone can say that to themselves. Probably not aloud, but just being there and watching someone smile, whether it be something that you give them, a gift, a toy, anything, just it's so just cool to see that people actually enjoy it, or it's so cool that people actually react to it in a good way. And that makes me happy. And I think that's the first thing that I want before I focus on myself. I want everyone to be in a good mood before I start focusing on myself.
Yeah, but what if you're in a bad mood? How do you make other people in a good mood? You have to fix your mood first, wouldn't you?
That's
because I hear what you're saying. I
think
that's awesome.
I'm very good at hiding it. I feel like.
Do you think that's the right thing to do? Is hide it?
That's the thing. I don't feel like it's a good thing. There's times where you can definitely hide your emotions, right? And then there's times where you shouldn't, right? Like I was saying, you can't be happy all the time.
No.
You cannot be sad all the time.
No.
You can't hide everything all the time, right? You can run, but you can't hide, right? You can't hide it. You have to let that out. Whether it be something emotional, something wrong with your mental mental health, anything like that. I had told my mom that I was going through like depression and all that and everything, and I was telling her like stories and stuff that I did before then, and like she was like, "How can you do this? You're such a happy, bubbly guy." And I'm like, I hid it from you. I'm sorry, but like I wanted you to be happy. I don't want you to be in a spot where you have to worry about me. And that's what I base it off of. Like my parents mean the world to me, and I don't want anything to happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't want them to worry about me. So them expecting me to be this bubbly, happy, positive guy is like completely wrong. And am I wrong? I feel like I am wrong for hiding it, but also I don't want them to feel like they're in a situation where they have to worry or they have to like be scared, you know? And that's why I want to hide it, because I want to make sure that they're fine before I even bring anything up. So when I brought it up to my mom, she was like, "How can you like bring this up now?" And it's like, because I don't want you to feel hurt. I don't want you to worry about me. I don't want you to feel pressured to do something that will help me. I want you to be happy first before I start helping myself. And I've always been a selfless guy. I've always been a guy that wants to help other people before I start helping myself. Are there times where I shouldn't do that? Maybe. I
think you got to find the right line.
But yeah, no, there's a right time for it. I feel like there's always a right time to hide your emotion, but then there's also a good time to like really bring it out, because it's really hard to hold on to all that and then not bring it out and have people like come through and be like, "Oh, I expect you to be this person. I expect you to be like this. I expect you to be like that." When really you're this person that's going through all this stuff and no one knows about it, but you hid it so well.
Yeah, and it's dangerous to hide stuff. See, if you would have asked me if you went through depression, I'd have said I had no idea, because I always know you to be a happy guy. And I get why you want to hide things, and you know, people have their own opinions on it. I think for me, it's about who I hide it from. I did a pretty good job of hiding it for a while, and then it got to the point where it's like someone's gonna find out, or it's
That's
gonna
the thing.
me.
Like you can't you can run, but you can't hide. I'm not gonna sit here and hide all my emotions for anyone, because I want people to know about it. Because I want people to know that I'm not always gonna be this happy, positive guy. Like I want people to know that I go through stuff too. And I don't want you to worry about me, but I want you to know, like, hey, like this happened to me today. I'm not feeling too good about it.
And that's why it's important to find people that you can open up to, because like you said, you know, I'm sure this is the same for you as it is for me. I know my parents will always be there. If I tell them something, they'll be there to support it. However, what makes it so hard for me to tell them bad news is, for a very, very easy example, I go to them with good news or news I'm excited about. "Oh, I'm going to get a new car," or "I'm going to get this." The first thing they do is, "Oh, but be careful because this could happen." And like they do it because they love me and they do it because they care, and I get it, and but what that does is, oh, well, then it makes me kind of panic of, this is what I'm excited for, and they already kind of are concerned. So if I go to them with bad news, how much more concerned can they get? And I don't want to debilitate them because of something that I'm going through. But it was hard because I didn't want to do that to anybody for a while, and I think if you hide it from everybody, that's very dangerous, and I don't think anybody should do that. Picking and choosing who you are comfortable talking to is a little bit different. So, it's good that you were able to talk to somebody, but I get the maybe not fear, but the lack of wanting to tell your parents negative feelings.
No, I can definitely vouch for fear. I just afraid of what my mom would think, afraid of what my dad would think, afraid of what my family would think.
Even though knowing that they'll still love you and support you.
Right. And like when I tell my mom, she's just like, yeah, no, it's like everyone goes through it. Like it's she doesn't, and she was like, I don't expect you to be this happy, positive guy all the time, even though you are very extroverted, always happy to meet new people, excited for everything, excited for anything. But like everyone goes through it. I feel like everyone goes through stuff where they go through and they want people to expect them to be something, but that's not how it is.
Well, and that's why I like conversations like these, because like yourself, I think most people know me as a happy person, and I would say myself, I'm a pretty happy person.
Yeah.
But even happy people can go through shit that's just very disturbing and very dark. So it's crazy to me. I had no idea that you ever experienced thoughts like that, because I always know you as fucking happy-go-lucky JJ. And, like I said, hats off to your parents for raising you. You're definitely one hell of a kid.
Thank you.
But, knowing that, open up to who you want to open up to. But I hope, this doesn't have to be said on the air, but I'm here.
Yeah.
And I know you're there for me, and I love that about you.
Dude, trust me, I already did. I've been through it, talked to my school, talked to my mom, talked with therapists, talked with everyone through it, and I finally feel like I've gone through it, and I've said to myself, I need to change. I don't want to be in this spot anymore.
Doesn't feel good.
It doesn't. But now that I'm where I'm at now, finishing up school, getting my degree soon, and all this, like it's starting to make me feel like I'm here. I've accomplished everything. My expectations were met, but I went through some bumps in the road. But I'm here. So,
hell yeah! I love to hear that.
Yeah,
it's interesting. How close we've been, but not knowing how many similarities we have based on music, expectations, things we've gone through. So I've enjoyed hearing it. Before we sign off, I like to ask everybody something that they do that helps them accomplish good mental health or helps them, maintain happiness. So before we sign off, I'd like to turn to you for something you do that helps you achieve happiness or good mental health.
Jeez, man. Soccer. I mean, sports have always been like something really important to me. Going out and playing in 20-degree weather is not a problem for me if it's soccer. So
it's 30 degrees right now on December or January 5th. Mm-hmm. This man comes over. Yeah, I was just playing soccer. Oh, where at? Outside. Oh, but when you're as good as JJ, I would be pretty damn happy playing soccer too.
Yeah, no,
guys, Usain Bolt out there.
Yeah, just I don't know, man. Just finding what's right for you. It's gonna take time, but sports have always been something that has always been there for me, and it will always be there for me. I feel like so. It's like another parent, What else can I say? Man, just sitting down and talking. I think conversation and being able to open up, being able to really talk about it. Because when I had it, I was like, dude, I don't even know if I want to bring this up.
Yeah, but it's hard to break the seal.
Mm-hmm. But I want everyone to know that it's important to like break that seal. Like it's very vital because holding on to that is just so it's dangerous. Anything can happen, and you don't want anything bad to happen. So just being able to open up, find your happy place. Obviously, my happy place is soccer, but it could be something completely different for you. Music therapy, and listening to any type of music. It doesn't have to be any calming or soothing music, but finding your happy place and really putting yourself in it first, and then breaking that seal. I think if you're really going through stuff, you need to let that stuff go, man.
Yeah.
So
don't dwell on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good tip. Thank you, JJ, for coming on.
Thanks
I love seeing you again.
Yeah, man.
Excited to get back out there when soccer starts back up. For those of you listening or watching, if you'd like to come on and be a guest, please reach out. I've had a few people that I don't know reach out, and I'm excited to schedule a podcast with them. But please reach out, or if you have any questions or topics that you think we should talk about, send a message to me at TIMM Podcast on Instagram. Or if you use email still, you can send a message at timmpod@gmail.com. JJ, before we go, is there anything else that you wanna plug?
Nah. I mean, if you want to put my Insta in there.
Put your Insta in there. Let the people know.
It's JJ Whitt, WHITT. So give me a follow there on Insta.
Give this guy a goddamn follow. He'll save your life if you come play soccer at his facility.
I only ever use Insta. I don't really use any other social media like Twitter or like Facebook anymore, but Instagram is probably the go-to for me. I think that's it, man.
Well, there you go.
Stay happy, stay positive.
Stay happy, stay positive. Find us on Instagram. Thank you for listening. Until next week.